I welcome you back to this video. Okay, in my last video, this is where we stop on how to carry out your general arrangement for this particular structure. Okay, but right now we are going to export this design to Prota structure. Okay, also I remember I need to delete this particular line. I don't need this here. Okay, I remember I need to delete that. Okay, so I will extend this one to meet this particular one. Okay, so now we'll quickly export this general arrangements to Prota structure for modeling. Okay, and we'll start our modeling immediately. Okay, so let me also extend this one. If you have been following this training by now, you should know how to export your design to Prota structure. Okay, I can trim this one, trim. Okay, let me trim this particular one. Okay, that's fine. Then to export this drawing now, I will left click on this to highlight it. Okay, you highlight everything, then you type W on your keyboard. Make sure you type W, you highlight everything to go and save it in another workspace. You type W and you hit on enter. Okay, then you click on OK. So it has been saved on my desktop. Then I will minimize this for now, and I will go to my desktop to look at where, and you see this is it here. I will double click on it. As you can see, this is it right here. Can you see that? This is it right here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this file at origin before I will export this design. So I would like to click on my line weight so that I can be able to see it both. Then once I do that, I will type L on my keyboard. I will hit on enter. I want to save it at origin right now. Then I will type 0. I will click on my tab, comma 0. I don't need to press the comma. Then I will hit on enter. Okay. Then I will make sure that this line is straight. Can you see that? I'll make sure the line is straight. As you can see, the line is coming all the way from origin. Okay. Then I will left click on the line. Once I do that, then I will move this drawing. I will go to move. Okay. And I will move this drawing to origin. I'll pick it from here. It's always good to make sure to save your project or your drawing at origin. Okay, and I will move it to this origin. Okay, then I can now select this line and I will delete it. Okay, then I will now save this project as a DXF file. Save as drawing. Then I will save as DXF file again. As you can see, files of type, I will save it at DXF 2018 AutoCAD 2018 DXF. I will click on it. Then I can rename it. I can name it as training with strip. If you have been following this video, remember I said we are going to be using strip foundation for this design at the end. Okay, training with strip. Then I will go to document and I will save it under my document, or you can also save it on your desktop and I will click on save. Okay, on your desktop and click on save. Training with strip, don't forget. Then I can close this for now. I can close this. I'll click on no. Then I can minimize this particular one. Then I'll go to my Prota structure now. I will double click on it. We give it time to load. Let's give it time to load. Okay. As you can see now, I've opened up my Prota structure. Okay, then I'll click on new project. Then I'll give it a name. I will say training on strip. Okay, don't forget, Prota structure doesn't allow you to use your spacebar. What you can use are the characters that you can see here. Then I'm going to use my underscore. Okay, I'll use my underscore training on strip. Okay, on strip foundation. That is what I meant by training on strip. Then I'll choose my code. I will be using UK BS8110. Okay, BS8110 code. Then once I select it, I'll click on OK. Then you give it time to load your workspace for you. Okay, give it time. As you can see here, this is my workspace. Under this building setup, you are going to see external drawing, external reference drawing to import that drawing that we export from AutoCAD. Then you click on external reference drawing. Once you click on it, you click on add. Okay, please, you need to follow this step. Okay, you go to where your DSF file is saved. As you can see under my desktop, this is training with strip. I will click on it. Once I click on it, then I'll click on open. Okay, then the next thing I'm going to do is I'll click on active. Okay, you click on active. If you are using Prota Structure 2021, 2022, it's the same process. You click on active. Then once you click on active, you click on use color here. Okay, you click on use color. Then you click on import. You have import your drawing, but it has not import the grid line and the column you model in AutoCAD. Okay, on your general arrangement. So to do that now, you have to click on import here. Then as you can see, we have grid. You can see under my layer, I have grid, I have column, and I have a wall. But I don't have a wall in this model. Then I will uncheck that one, and I will leave my grid and my column, and I'll click on import. Then once the operation is completed, it's going to tell you that operation completed. As you can see here, okay, you click on close. Once you click on close, all you need to do is to click on OK. Then automatically, this is your general arrangement that you import right from AutoCAD. Then if you go to 3D now, you will see all the columns right from your AutoCAD. So you don't need to insert any column again at all. Can you see that? Okay, except if you need to make changes in your design. That is when you now come and start changing all this. Then I'll click on this. Once I click on this, I can now start modeling my beam straightforward. Then I'll go to modeling and I'll go to beam. Then under this beam, I'm going to be using beam of 225 by 450 for this structure, 225. Then the height should be 450. 450. Okay, then I will start following the path of my general arrangement that I have right here. Okay, I will have a beam at this point. I would like to have, let's see, I would like to have a beam from here to this point. Okay, I would like to have a beam from here to this point. Then this is my cantilever, if you remember. Then I would also like to have a beam from here to this point. This particular, okay, I'm going to show you that. This particular other one is for our foundation and not for the first floor. Okay, then I will have to have a beam from this point. Let's give it a beam from here to this point, from here to this point. Okay, I'll click on no, I don't want it to split. Then I will have a beam from here to this point. I'll click on no, I don't want it to split. Okay, then I will have, okay, this one needs to split. Why this one I don't want it to split? That's fine. Then I will have a beam from here to this point. Okay, then I will need to have a beam right from here. Let me stop it here. Okay, then I need to have a beam from here to this point. I will click on no, I don't want it to split. Then I will have a straight beam right from here down to this point. Then I will also have a beam here, but I don't have a grid line. I'm going to create that grid line there, so you can always make any changes from Prota structure as well. I'll click on yes to split this. Okay, then I will have a beam connecting from here to this point. I will also have a beam connecting from here to this point. Then I will have this beam from here to this point. I will have this beam from here to this point, from here to this point. Okay, then I will have a beam from here to this point. I will also have a beam from here to this point. Okay, I will have a beam from here to this point. Let's continue modeling our beam from here to this point. I will click on no, I don't want it to split. Then I will have a beam from here to this point. Okay, and from here to this point, or let me say to this, think to this point. Okay, I'm trying to check something from here, so you can always go to your AutoCAD if anything is not clear. You go to your AutoCAD, look at this grid line here. Okay, as you can see here, I noticed that this one is not supposed to be at this point. It's supposed to start from this end. Okay, it's supposed to start from this end. This is supposed to be at the center of this. If you go to your first floor now, you see that, can you see what I'm saying? But we actually did a mistake while doing that general arrangement. Okay, that is why you need to be very, very careful. So I'm going to change the position of this right here. It should be from here to this point. I will click on no, I don't want it to split. Can you see that? Then I'm going to also, before I even do that, I need this beam to run straight. Okay, let me check my general arrangement. I need this beam to run straight. Okay, let me see. Okay, I think this is better. Okay, this is better. That's fine. Then I will go to my Prota structure again, and I will continue my beam modeling. Right click and say properties. Then I will also have a beam from here to this point. Okay, and from here to this point, from here to this point, and to this point. Okay, this is fine. Then I will click on this and say properties again. I would like to have a beam, or let me say from here. Let me see what we have done in our general arrangement. Okay, that's fine. You trace it down to this point. I will click on yes, I want it to split. Then I will also like to have a beam from here to this point to here, and from here to here. I'll click on no, I don't want it to split. When you are modeling, you need to model your structure very well. Okay, you need to take note of that. Then you check for where you still need to have a beam. Okay, this shape must be here. Okay, that's fine. Let me see where we also need. Okay, we need a beam right from here to this point. As you can see, we need a beam there. Then for this particular point now, okay, let's go to AutoCAD to measure the dimension. If you remember, I think it's 900 mm. Annotate dimension from here to here is 900, which means from this center to this center will also be 900. So what I will do is I will select this grid line. Once I select the grid line, and I will right click and say offset axis, then I will take it downward. Because I'm coming downward, I will click on my F2 and type -900. I'll hit on enter. Okay, as you can see, we now have the grid line there. This is now going to allow us to insert a grid line. Okay, then I can take this from here to this point, and from here to this point, and from here connect it to this point. Okay, this is fine. Then I think we are done with our beam modeling. The next thing we have to do now is to insert our slab. To insert your slab now, you click on slab. Okay, once you click on slab, the depth of my slab I want to use for this structure is 150. Okay, then the concrete cover, I would like to leave it at 25. Then let me go to load. Under my load, this structure is a residential building. As you can see, this is the self weight of the slab. I'll click on enter rooms here, okay, to insert my dead load. Okay, then my imposed load now, this is a residential building, so I'll choose my bedroom and dormitories. Okay, and you can also always do your manual calculation and insert your dead load. Okay, then I'll continue to insert my slab one after the other. I'll insert my slab here and here. I'll insert my slab this way. I will insert my slab this way. As you can see, this is a staircase area, so we are not going to be inserting a slab at that point. I will insert a slab here, insert a slab here. Okay, I just noticed something. Okay, that's fine. Insert your slab here. insert a slab at this point. Okay, I think we are done inserting our slab. I'll close this, and if you go to 3D now, you will see what you have done right here. Okay, this is what you have done right here. You go to story 1 plan again, then okay, on my story 1 now, I will now go to insert story to insert the number of story. So I'll go to story and I'll go to insert story. Then the total number of this story is going to be 2 because this is a G+1 structure. So here now, the total number of story will now be 2. Okay, you type 2 and you click on OK. Then once you do that, you will go to your story again. You right click and say edit story. Then you edit your story height. From ground floor to my first floor, I want the height to be 3,600. You have to check your architectural design for that. Then from your first floor to your ceiling level, according to my own architectural design, is 350. Okay, then I'll leave this first story bottom level. You can always leave it at 450. Then I'll click on OK. Then once you click on OK, now you can go back to your story 1. Okay, then you go to let me say you go to your story 2 now, or you go to story again and you right click and you say generate story. Then on your generate story now, you click on story 2 as your targeted story. Okay, then you can generate all these. We can only uncheck our slab. Let's uncheck our slab. Then you can leave every other thing the way it is. Then you click on OK, and it's going to generate from story 1 to story 2. Then the process is completed. You click on close. So if I go to my 3D now, you see that we have this right here. Okay, can you see this? Can you see this? Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'll go back to my let me go to my story 1. I'll go to my story 1 now. I'll go to my plan view first, then I'll go to story 1, and I'm going to edit my wall load. Okay, then to edit your wall load now, you always need to follow the load or the walls according to your architectural design. Okay, if you go to your AutoCAD, you will see that we have walls on this point. So on your first floor, this is our first floor, you have to follow this particular one. Okay, to follow what we have on our first floor now, firstly, you just even need to edit your wall load first. You click on this, right click and say edit wall load. Then you click on your wall unit weight. Your wall unit weight is 2.87 plus the finishes. We give you 3.47. We have explained this on our previous video. I'll click on tab. The wall height is going to be 3.6 minus 450. That will be 3.15. Okay, then the wall thickness is going to be 0.225. Then once you are done with that, you click on OK. Okay, right now this particular wall is having a wall load. I will right click on it and I will say copy wall load. Then I will go to this tree here. Then I will scroll down, press my shift, right click and say paste copied wall load. Okay, and I will click on yes. Okay, then to follow your architectural drawing on your wall load now, you just need to be checking. You check them one after the other and you start deleting the wall load where you don't want it to be. Okay, as you can see, all the external has a wall load except this cantilever here, right at this point, doesn't have a wall load. Okay, so the only thing is you can reduce the height of that wall load at that point. You right click this and say edit wall load, and you change this height to, let me change this height to, let's give it a dwarf wall of just 1 meter. Okay, let's say 1 meter, and you click on OK. Then you do the same thing for this one, or you select this one and delete the wall load. You click on yes, right click and say edit copy wall load. Sorry, click on this beam again, right click and say copy wall load. Select this beam now and you say paste copied beam wall load. You click on yes. Actually, we're not going to be having any wall load there. Let's delete this wall load. Yes. Select this one also and say copy wall load. Select this one and paste copied beam load. Click on yes. Then for this point, let's check where are we not going to have a wall load. For this point, we are not going to have a wall load because it's going to be at this point and not at this point. You right click and you say delete wall load. You click on yes. Then you check for other ones. Let me go to my architectural drawing and I will go to let me say this grid G we have a wall load, this grid F we have a wall load. So you check them. This one we have a wall load. Okay, we cannot easily trace the grid now because we've not edited the grid label. Okay, you should know how to edit your beam label, your axis label rather. I'm not going to be showing you that. Then I will also select this particular one. I think this one is not going to have a wall load. Let me see. Okay, let's see this one. This one is going to have, okay, this one is not going to have a wall load. Delete wall load. Delete wall load. Click on yes. This one is not also going to have. Let's check that. Okay, this one is going to have, as you can see. Then which other one? Let me check this. This one is not going to have a wall load. Delete wall load. You click on yes. You can also delete this particular one. Delete wall load. You click on yes. Okay. Then you check for other ones. This straight one is not going to have a wall load. Okay. You check, as you can see, it's not going to have a wall load all through. You go to this point, select this wall load and delete wall load. In my next video, I'll be showing you how to also create an additional wall load or your line load. Okay. Then which other one? Let's see. Go to this point, select this. Let's check that point. Okay, this is the recess here. Let me see. Okay, this one is not going to have a wall load. Let me see. Okay, this is the recess from the grid 5 prime and grid 5 prime prime and 5 prime. Let me trace it from my 5 prime prime and 5 prime. Can you see? So meaning that this particular one here is not going to have a wall load, this one, because this is where the wall is going to be on my first floor. Okay, this is my first floor and it's going to be on my 5 prime prime and not on 5 prime again. Okay, and not on 5 rather. So I'll go to this point and delete this wall load. Delete wall load. Yes. Delete this wall load. Yes. I will also check. Okay. I will also delete the wall load here. Let's delete this wall load. As you can see, this wall load is going to stop at this point. Okay, let's see. Okay, this one is going to extend to this point. It's going to extend to this point. You can just relabel the grid to make it easier for you. Okay, I think that's fine. That's fine. Then let's delete some other wall load. For this particular point now, are we going to have a wall load there? We have a wall load there. We have a wall load right here. Then there is a beam at that midpoint. Okay, I think this is better. Then let me see. We are now also going to have a wall load at this point. So you select this particular one also and delete the wall load. Delete wall load. You click on yes. Okay. You can always check your architectural drawing and make sure you insert a wall load where it's supposed to be. Okay. It is very important. Then if I go to 3D now, you will see what we have there. Okay. you see what we have there. So the next thing we have to do is to change the position of our column on second floor. Okay, that is on our roof beam, but in our next video we are going to do that. Okay, this is where I'm going to stop for now. Thank you very much. See you in my next video.